So Refund Retriever, we audit FedEx and UPS accounts for late deliveries and billing mistakes. So with every FedEx and UPS package that's sent out, there's a guarantee that it's going to arrive on time. So if you have a ground package that's supposed to get there on a Tuesday, gets there on a Wednesday, FedEx and UPS will refund you the full amount of that shipping cost. So what we do for large volume sellers, well, any volume seller really, is we download their invoices, we look for the late deliveries and other billing mistakes, go to the carrier for them, have the dispute put back on their account, and our fee is a percentage of whatever we save them. So if we don't save you anything, we don't charge anything. Everything's on time, or there's a late valve delay, like weather delays or something outside the carrier's control. We don't, we're not going to get a refund on it. We're not going to charge them. Then after we're done lowering the cost of their shipping, then we basically take all of their data and give them lots of reports and analytics. So cost per pound shipped, discount rates, all the accessorial fees that they bake into the cost of a package. We kind of pull those out for them, give them a better way to view what they're spending their money on as far as shipping is concerned, because a lot of times, we'll get a client will get a invoice for thousands of dollars and they basically just pay it. They don't think that there's anything wrong with the invoice because how could they make a mistake? So we find those mistakes, go to the carrier for them, get refunds on the late deliveries and billing mistakes, and then also basically give them a whole lot of analytics so they can really know where their money's going and how to ship more effectively. Point out different things. You're doing something wrong, or you're shipping a lot of next day air that should be ground. We can show them where their inefficiencies are as far as their own personal shipping.
Okay. So I did my own fair share of digging around a little bit. So you're in Texas, you're like heading home from taking the bar exam or something like that, and then you came up with this idea more or less, right? Am I in the ballpark?
You're close, yeah. So I did go to law school, and I realized real early that I didn't want to be an attorney, and I still took the bar exam because I was there. And the day that I finished my bar exam, I walked out and I signed my first commercial lease on my first company, where it was kind of a mixture of like a postal center, like a UPS store mixed with an eBay seller store, where we sold things on eBay for people. We had one of the first ones inside the loop here in Houston, and we did pretty good at it. And I went to a meeting for some postal centers a few months into it, and our shipping volume was getting pretty high, and we were doing a lot of shipping. Costs were going up, and I heard about this idea of the shipping refunds, and if it's late, it's free, and kind of started doing it myself with Microsoft Excel, like downloading the invoices, tracking everything. We had tried another company to do this. We never got any refunds back. So I just started doing it myself, tracking everything and putting estimates on everything and just looking at my billing. And I got a few late package refunds, and I was like, okay, this works. This is good. Now we need to, see if it keeps working, and then be able to expand on it and, basically do this in bulk. So hired a programmer, and we started in 2006 bringing our first client. So this company basically was born out of a necessity of lowering my shipping costs, and we've been going ever since.
Yeah. So how many sellers out there do you think have no idea that, they could be getting refunds in these cases? Like, I mean, how much money is actually being left on the table in most situations?
I still think the majority of sellers do not know that this is possible. When we first started, most of the trade shows that we'd go to, most people that we talked to, it was more of an educational thing. Like, yes, this is possible. And still, when we go to different events, and people kind of look at us, when we tell them kind of our little elevator pitch, people kind of look at us, kind of funny, like, that's a real thing. Like, yeah, that, they guarantee everything. Well, not ground. Well, no, the ground is the bulk of what we get back for refunds. That's where the majority of the refunds are, the ground. So still, I mean, very rarely are you, finding a potential lead that already has it in place. The majority of them, the vast majority, do not have a auditor in place. They do not have a person looking at their invoices. They're just paying for the invoices and kind of moving forward. And then, that kind of expanded us into different aspects. We're looking at discount rates for people. One thing that we do in our reports and analytics is benchmarking the discounts. So we can say, okay, if you're shipping, say, $250,000 in FedEx ground, well, there's not like a standard list rate for everybody that's shipping that much FedEx ground. It's kind of a negotiation skill that between the FedEx rep and the shipper. So what we do is, we can show them how competitive their rates are to other similar sized shippers. So it's kind of a twofold. Number one is like letting people know, hey, this is a thing where you can get refunds back on your late deliveries. And number two, and also all these reports and analytics can help you lower your discounts going down the road. So, there's hard savings, and then we can also tell you, you need 5% better rate on ground because you're shipping so much, or your accessorial fees are out of the roof, and you need to get a discount on this, or you get a discount on, or like instead of having a dim divisor that's a certain number, you need a higher dim divisor, or you need to have a waiver on a certain thing that makes your packages into this category. And that's one thing that we can help them with.
So if your business is anything like mine, which I'm sure it is, there's tons of different categories and different businesses and everything like that. But is there a metric you can give me on average what a seller is typically leaving on the table by not digging into, their entire shipping process?
Yeah, anywhere from 2 to 7% is where we see our clients kind of falling in that range.
Really?
Of overall shipping spend. And then that varies based off of what carrier they're using and what services they're using. So if they're real ground heavy, it's lower. But if they're doing a lot of international, a lot of overnights, heavier boxes, the percentage goes up. But the majority of, I guess, the numerical majority of what we get back as late packages are the ground. And that's what, the bulk of everybody's shipping. They're shipping ground. Very few people, ship overnight. It's a very small percentage of most shippers' overall spend.
Yeah. So the obvious thing, we're almost exactly a week away from Q4 starting, and everyone starts freaking out, and so much starts happening, and everyone's running a mile a minute. So obviously shipping severely increases around this time of year. So what are the benefits of working with someone like you, as you get into Q4 and like, because I'm sure there's a ton of late shipments and a ton of upset customers and things like that, that definitely start coming down the pipeline. So how are you able to kind of help with that?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Not only does the volume of shipping go up, but the price of shipping goes up. So with FedEx and UPS, they both have holiday surcharges that are going to hit, where UPS is going to increase the residential charge for all their services pretty much. And also the different accessorial fees, the price is just going to go up in a certain amount of time. FedEx does the same for just accessorial fees. So the price of shipping is going to go up. That's a given. But also with all the late deliveries and that are going out, with the increased number of packages, like one of the reports that we have are packages that are damaged in transit or past 15 days from the day they ship. So we can give sellers tools to kind of be more proactive, so they have less people griping, where they can look at a report and look at all of their packages that came up with a damage event. And then if they want to contact, we give them the tracking number, where it was going, any reference information is in our report, and we can basically give them that report and, let them be proactive, let them contact their buyer and say, hey, was everything wrong or everything correct with this package? We noticed there was a damage, and, that builds trust with a buyer, knowing that a seller's, hey, they're looking at this, they didn't just watch that door slam on the UPS truck and go to the next package. Same thing with undelivered packages. You can, be proactive and say, okay, we noticed this package was returned to us and we haven't heard from you. We noticed this package was sitting in Boise, Idaho for the past 5 days, and there's still no delivery event on it. Did you get this, or is the tracking just wrong? And
Yeah.
if they did get that package and nothing's wrong with it, they'll appreciate it. If they didn't get that package, something's wrong with it, the shipper can take action on it before they get that angry call from the customer or that angry review online because my package was late. And because it's not the shipper's fault, it's the carrier's fault, or it's, you know, a weather delay or something. So having that little bit of information is very valuable for shippers kind of going into this season.
Yeah. That's really interesting. I didn't even think about, you know, so obviously you have the benefit of helping sellers, you know, get money back for issues with shipping and things like that. But if you're smart and you're proactive about it, you can get ahead of upset customers. And that's, you know, that's one of those things where, you know, we kind of preach like turn the negative customers more into influencers if they were upset and had a great experience with something that happened. So if you can contact them before they even get the product and say like, hey, you're getting a damaged package, we're going to send you a free one, or we're going to send you a refund, don't worry about it. Like getting ahead of the game, that's awesome. That's really cool.
And you can also kind of prepare them if the package is damaged. Say, okay, well, you know, there's different, if there's going to be an insurance claim on a package, well, they should not throw away the packaging, or they should take pictures of it without opening it. You know, take pictures along the process and say, you know, hey, we know something's wrong with this. Please help us, you know, take pictures, like, I guess, what do you call that?
Fix it.
Yeah. Give us some proof of what happened. You know, help us document the events so we can just send you a new one, and then we take care of the rest of it on our end. But we have that documentation. You help us, we're just going to go ahead and send you out a new one.
Yeah. Nice. So what metric are you guys providing that you believe sellers don't track that they really should be tracking?
The biggest one is their accessorial fees, I think. The other fees that are included on shipping costs above just the transportation fees, the additional handling fees, the delivery surcharges, the address corrections, the little things that just kind of they tack on to a package. I think a lot of sellers don't realize how big this can get. I mean, it can be anywhere from the low end of, you know, 10 to 15% of their overall shipping to, I've seen a client that had 47% of their cost was other fees. And they were shipping out large packages. They kind of just thought it's the way that we have to do this. And, you know, we're just going to, you know, take it. You know, it's just, we have to do this. Well, you don't have to, you know, you can negotiate in an agreement for lower fees, or if you can say, okay, well, there's certain measurements in additional handling. Well, instead of it being a 48-inch long package or more, let's go in our contract and let's get this changed to we know everything in our arsenal that we're shipping out is 51 inches. So let's move that to 52 and let's just bump that up by 3 inches. We're not getting a waiver we're not trying to lower that cost. We're trying to take packages out of that category. And there's just different ways around it. I think it's the accessorial fees. I mean, everybody, whenever they're looking at their contract, they look at their rates, what their discount is over published rates. What are my discounts? What are my discounts? Well, there's other ways to get much lower shipping than just discounts, because those are on tiers. They move around too much.
My immediate assumption is carriers and any shipment company must not like you.
No. It's the rule that they put in place. You know, they're guaranteeing the packages. They're the ones shipping it. So we're just enforcing their rules. And like when somebody signs up with our service, the carrier never knows that we're actually doing anything on their account. You know, we're just behind the scenes. You know, it's kind of like, you know, if you do your own taxes, or you're going to hire a CPA to look over your taxes. I mean, some people do both. We're just taking a fine-tooth comb to what they're paying. We're not getting them out of anything they should not be paying for if it's legit. We're actually just making sure they're paying for everything that's legitimate.
So you're like the in-house like shipment auditing system,
Yeah.
where you don't have to actually hire someone to do it. That's
Nope.
fantastic.
They don't have to hire anybody. It takes
So
a few minutes to get set up with us. All we need is access to the online billing, and we're off and running.
so best, you know, I'm sure you got a story of like, oh, we had a seller who didn't realize like, you know, he was spending X and ended up saving like 3 million a year or something crazy like that. But you have any stories like that? I'm sure you have a few.
Oh, we have tons of people that, they're large volume shippers that, we go to a lot of trade shows and stuff. And we had one guy that was shipping a lot of international stuff. They were expanding internationally like crazy. And they signed up with their FedEx account. And I want to say the first few months, it was just over 10% of their total shipping costs we got refunded, because they were shipping large international packages and there was a lot of late deliveries in it. And I mean, they were shipping, thousands of dollars per day, and we were getting them lots of money back. And they're still one of our clients. We're still getting lots of money back for them. And they just didn't realize that it was possible. Like they knew and also with what they were doing, they were setting up franchises internationally, and these franchisees were wanting their product to get set up, and they knew it was late. They just didn't know they could do anything about it. And we got in there, and it was at least over 10% just right out of the gate for them.
Man, that is amazing. Brian, really appreciate it. I don't want to take up any more time of your Friday. Enjoy your day. Really appreciate it. We'll have this up soon. Anyone will be able to check it out later on. Really appreciate it. Enjoy your Friday. Tell everyone at Refund Retriever I said hello, and I will speak to you again soon. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good one. Bye.